Yeah, nap time, but I'm waiting to see if the microphone is actually registering. Hello, Alan and Bill are here already. I'm checking to see if my microphone is working. I don't see the little thing that pops up to say, yes, I'm using a microphone. And I want to see if the noise canceling can be undone. Midbar, hello. Yeah, rock smacking today. Sounds great. All right, Jesse. Mike Mason, hello. Hey, all. I've been trying to make a drill. I've been sitting here trying to make a drill so I can demonstrate how to use a drill. Stone drill. I just broke this one. Voila. Broken, perfectly broken. I suppose I could use that. This is heat treated Buffalo River that I'll be napping. Okay? But you gotta wait. I also broke this one. Trying to get back into napping chert on video, but it's not working that good. Matthias, hello. John Turner, hello. Mike is working good. All righty. Awesome. I was going to try to play something on for tunes and see if it works. Let's see. I've got, I think, see, it has a green light. I think the noise canceling is off. TJ, hello. 6 a.m. here. Well, bright and early for you then. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got. Am I plugged into the Bluetooth for the speaker? Let's see. No, not yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The computer is attached to the speaker? No. Okay. Technical difficulties. I'm not going to be able to play a tune if I can't get hooked up to the speaker. Yeah, Matthias, I'm doing good. Rockin' Pop's Adventures. Hey. Okay, let's get going. Enough dilly-dallying. I can dilly-dally for an hour or two. Oh, yeah. Just like the live stream. I'm dilly-dallying on the live stream. So what do? It's got lots of width in this area, but if I try to get a biface from this area, it's not as wide. See, it's only that wide, or I can make it really wide, but then it reduces the thinness because I'm not going to go super thin this time. Keith Ricketts just made it. Yay. Almost looks like a heart or heat treat. It is a heat treat. Not almost. I've been napping it. I got it from Danny Collins. It is a heat treat, and I am going to remove that big old wide area. Okay, let's see. Let's back up so we can all kind of see what's going on. I got closer to the computer so I can mess with it. Now I don't need to mess with it. All right. Here we go. Gonna get big pieces off of this. See? You can see perfectly, right, what I'm doing? So now you know the angle and how to spall and everything, and you're going to be able to do perfect overshots like that. Because the overshots are so really, really great. Yes? See? Kind of overshot, but there was a natural crack in there, so it's very angular, which means there was a natural crack in here. Yeah. Get rid of that angular area. It's still kind of tough, even if it's a heat treat. In case you're new and you don't know, you think all heat treat naps like glass. Hey, Jesse, $20. Thank you very much. Pat needs more rocks, never enough. Yeah, that is true. Although I have lots of flakes, but they're all kind of curved. But I nap curved flakes for myself. Let's celebrate their 5th super. That's my 5th super chat. Wow. Awesome. Wow, what a flake. Yeah. So that's what I'll be doing. I'm going to try to nap this down to a biface while chatting and trying to keep track of what's on the comment section. So for those of you who just tuned in, you don't know what this is a live stream on my channel. Obviously, my name is Patrick. The channel name is Jack Crafty. I've been napping for 15 years, apparently. The first 2 years before that, I was making gravel for 2 years. And I still got to demonstrate how I used to nap with a pair of pliers and a screwdriver for about a year. Just making notched flakes. And then once I figured out that I could use indirect percussion, I started napping a lot more and then making videos because it became a whole different ballgame. It's kind of snap in half-ish, kind of. Although this happens a lot, it's still kind of snap in half-ish because I did snap in half 2 drill preforms. So what happens is it doesn't have enough flexibility to withstand the force needed to drive a long flake on the surface. That's when you get snap and halfishness. So this is pretty long. Yep. Although I did lose a little bit off the tip. 7.5. Let's see if I can keep it long. Let's see. I made a lot of gravel myself, says Mike Mason. Yeah. You got to pay your dues. Yes, you dues. You dues have to pay your dues. Make lots of gravel in the beginning. Okay, so what do? I don't know. I attacked the worst areas first, which I already did. So now what do? I don't know. I don't see any worst areas. All I see is nice stuff. And this is a heat treat Buffalo River from Danny Collins. Okay, in case you didn't know. Why Danny Collins? Not only does he sponsor the channel, but I buy stuff from him too. Brought home some rock and driftwood and flow sand yesterday. All the rock needs heat. Well, that should be fun. Yeah, I am still in the gravel making stage. John Turner. Save some of the gravel and heat treat it if you need to, just so you can get experience heat treating. You may not be able to use the chunks, but at least you can goof around with them and see all the nice colors that they might turn into. They might turn into nice, colorful heat treats. And then you go, dang, I shouldn't have thrown away all the other flakes. No, they heat treat really nice, and I threw away 14 tons of them. Yeah, I'm still in the... Okay, so that's a good angle for hitting right there. Is it visible? I got the light on it, but yeah, I need to hire a lighting guy so I can not have to pay attention to the lighting. See, that's nice. Nice big old flake. Yep. And you don't need any practice to do this, right? Right. I wish. Some of the new guys say, I don't know. I see you do it like you're not even thinking about it, but I can't do anything. I hit the rock and it just crushes right there. That's it. Crushes. Call me Crushy. Yeah. Call me Dances with Crushing. I know. Everybody goes through that. Don't worry. I'm skinning. This is called skinning, when you just take off a little bit that has the cortex. I'll get into the better flakes, or I don't know about better flakes. They just look a little bit better once I get the cortex off, because I'm not dealing with uncertainty. When you have cortex, you don't know exactly what's underneath. Now this stuff does change color slightly when you heat treat it. See, it was probably more like this color before the heat treat, and then it turns like this on the outside, but it doesn't go all the way through. You might say, oh, that's a bummer. I just bought 200 pounds of rock thinking that it's all going to turn red like that. Dang it. Yeah. Aren't you glad you tuned into this channel so you can find that out, that it doesn't go all the way through sometimes, the heat treat color? It's a butterfly. Yeah, see? Or a moth. Yeah, these are breaking up, but it's okay. See, these flakes get a little bit more predictable once you get the cortex off. See that? I think I'm going to offer some of these big old flakes in the auction as big old flakes, but it scoops it a lot. See that? That's a problem, because then it starts to develop a curve, and you can't have that. Let's see. Brought home some rock. Yep. Yeah, I'm still in the, yep. I saw some crazy stone on Danny's page. Petrified palmwood, I think. Very cool looking. Didn't know that existed. Oh, yeah. You know that there's such a thing as petrified dinosaur poop, right? You can nap that too. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what they call those points. There's something funny about that. Somebody came up with a funny name for poop points. Coprolite? I think it's called coprolites. The dinosaur droppings that are petrified. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you know. You can nap all kinds of stuff. Some of this on this side is kind of dry and crumbly. So I'm going to remove it. This is the good stuff right here, but it's on the edge, so I'm not going to be able to preserve much of that at all. Unfortunately. Yeah, this stuff is nice for these kinds of flakes. Now, it's not easy to use these unless you break them in half first, because they're so delicate. But you can use them for tools for butchering, just like that, with no modification. Dan has a few vids trying to make stuff from petrified palm. It's messy. Scott Lauer, hello. Alan Cole, are you? Now you're just showing off? Yeah, I wish. I'd like to show off really, really nicely. I'd like to actually have something that I can do to show off. Like some long blades. Yeah. Heat treat makes it fairly easy to do these kind of things. Fairly easy. It depends, though, on the heat treat and who's doing the heat treating. They got to know what they're doing. Yes, they do, because it is sometimes highly unpredictable. I still have a curve in it. See, I scooped out too much in the middle when I did that big old flake. I did that by mistake. That flake was a mistake because it was too deep. Can you see the light? Is it helping? I hope so, because I'm not turning it off. Or maybe I should. Maybe I should twist it around so it's not directly in everybody's face. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it's focused on. The camera has a mind of its own and focuses on whatever it wants to focus on. Let's see. Any of the Danish points you thought looked nice, Matthias? Oh yeah, a lot of those Danish points have super long barbs. Yeah, they look nice. I mean, I like them all, but I need to print out those pictures you sent me. I took a look at how much that book cost from that author, $145 or something like that. Dang it. Yeah, a book from Denmark has a bunch of Denmark arrowheads that Matthias told me about. So I looked for that book, and dang it, if it's not hugely expensive. For us, anyway. Don't get any ideas, because there's no way I'm spending that much. You might say, hey, I'll get it for you for $120 and save you $20. No, I'm not going to spend nearly that much. Let's see. It's neat to see what you're doing, the different impressions live stream. Yeah. Some people might ask, why do I do these live streams now? And I'll tell you, but you're not going to like it. I'm doing it because I can't travel very much, right? So if you wanted to see me live doing stuff, the only way you're going to get to do it, for the most part, is right here on live streams, because I'm not traveling very much. I've already made the decision. I've got 1 or 2 nap-ins I'm going to this year, and that's it. I stayed up late drawing plans for what I'm going to do out back, and that's going to take a lot of my time. I've got to do some landscaping. I'm going to build some Neolithic little huts. I'm going to build 2 storage sheds, one for actual lawn stuff and the other for rocks, because I need a work shed with nothing except my flint knapping stuff for that particular week. And then my storage shed for all my materials, okay? And then a shed for the lawn equipment and whatever I need for the lawn and the landscaping and the gardening. And probably one more near the front so I can put in all my cooking stuff, my barbecue pit, and all my cooking stuff. And I put a pantry out there and put all my storables. Have like an outdoor kitchen and put like a chimney in it so I can do a little smoking of the meat and stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do this summer, and I need to work so I can get cash to pay for all that. Let's see. Yeah, Matthias, that book was highly expensive here in the United States. I'll send you next time. All right. It costs 25 USD here. Somebody's making some money. Someone's buying them from Denmark and reselling them here. Yeah. Let's see. Agree Obsidian series has been cool. Oh, thanks, Danny Moore. Danny Moore sent $5. Been enjoying the Obsidian. I still got more Obsidian on my regular videos. Okay, so don't get me wrong. This is when I do the live streams, I'm in my house. So I'm not going to nap Obsidian or glass in my house. It's taboo. Okay? I don't want that glass everywhere. It does get everywhere. And I was napped. The reason why I know, I used to nap glass in my van, believe it or not. And the glass is so bouncy. I was napping in the back storage compartment in my van. It's just a little space, which I don't need much space. The flakes were flying from that all the way to the front and landing on the dashboard of my van, which is 9 feet away. Because my van, they're pretty long, right? I measured one time. It's like 8'6" from the back to the end of the dashboard. I could put a board in there that's 8'6", something like that. Yeah, the flakes were flying that far, so I'm not going to have them flying around. Anyways, you will see Chert on the live stream. Chert and Flint only on the live stream. What runs around the yard but doesn't move? A fence. At least someone is being smart and copying, pasting these jokes, if that was a copy paste. Let's see. Obsidian, yay. No Obsidian in the house. Check. Yes, you're smart. You'll have to get in the bathtub to nap. Yeah. I get a shower and a shower curtain, but that's even... the shower is like 32 inches by 32 inches. It's like an RV type shower. This is a tiny house. In case you don't know, this is a tiny house. 15 feet by 15 feet. And whatever's in here typically is what is in an RV. Everything's small. The smaller version of everything. And where it's not small, it takes up too much space. Like we got a full-size oven in here. We got a full-size sink and almost a full-size refrigerator, and they're all kind of too big for this area. I'm going to change it around and get a smaller fridge, maybe a fridge and a freezer that are below the counter. And I'm going to do a whole counter space across that 15, well, this is a 13-foot span right there, maybe 12-foot span. I'm going to do a whole counter space right here, get rid of this. Anyways, let's get back to napping. Now, this is not easy to predict. It's good heat treat, but I've just started napping some of this heat treat Buffalo River today, just to warm up a little bit. And I can already tell that I'm going to get too comfortable with it and snap something off. Either the tip, the base, or something. But I like it because I can do that. Yeah. Heat treat allows you to do that. You can do that with raw stone, but it rarely allows you to do nice long flakes. Yeah. Okay, so now that's the biface stage. Now the sweat stage is coming up. after the bifacing, that's when it gets into the real napping. And in my view, the real napping is the sportsman's approach, not the craftsman's approach. The craftsman might say, okay, now it's time to grind this down into a perfect preform. Yeah, perfect. Just grind it all down nice and smooth and then run perfect parallel flakes over the whole thing. Yeah. That's what a craftsman would do. A sportsman would go, let's just go for the gusto and see if we can thin this down with risky flakes. Heck with the grinding. And if it messes up, it messes up. We just get another piece. And we just try to get better at this aggressive approach. And we're not going to sit there and grind all day into a perfect freeform. We're just going to put the rock in harm's way. See if we can get some. Yeah. Let's see. Made the mistake of having my pants cuffed up. It was a flake trap. Uh-oh. Let me go back because I'm missing some comments. Hello, Patrick. This is Ruben Miller. Jim Main is here too. All right. Hello, Patrick. I like this view of your napping rather than what you normally do. I feel I get a better sense of how hard you and how fast, slow you are swinging. Enjoy the live videos as well. Well, good. I'm glad it helps. I do have videos on my front view, but you got to go back into the distant past. Right? I've got videos that go back 10 years that show the front view. But I'm glad it helps. If it helps, it helps. It doesn't help me. If I look at a napper doing it from this view, it helps me zero. But if it helps you, I understand. Everyone's got different ways of looking at things. Yeah, so I've got to figure out when to stop the percussion. It's so nice because I can take off nice big flakes, but I don't want the mistakes to tell me, okay, time to stop, because then I have a mistake. Sometimes you got to go until you make a mistake, and then you go, okay, that's the limit then. Yeah, like with the Danish flint, I reached my limit on how thin I can go with it without having to really be really careful. I can probably go thinner than I was going with the Danish flint, but I would have to be very careful. It's good to know the limits. The moral of that story is it's good to know the limits, but it's not good to break too much. At some point, you've got to stop breaking all of it. But that's just part of it. Now, question, do you think the amount of force that I'm using is the amount of force that you should be using? Does everyone need to use the same amount of force to remove flakes? The answer is no. If you isolate better than I isolate, you can use less force. If you build or if you construct a platform that is isolated and that is very strong. And then you buff up the knapping tool so it makes firm contact instead of being all pitted like this. You can use less force. But I don't do any of that stuff because it takes me a lot of time. And if I take a lot of time doing something, it drives me nuts. All right. Let's see. Made the mistake of, okay. The pants cuffed, it was a flake trap. Didn't realize I got some on the floor and stepped on some. Yeah. Oops. Scott Goldsberry, hello. Danny Moore, my biggest obstacle was obsidian was support. Broke lots to learn how to keep them whole. Yeah. Also abrading. Yeah. Yeah. Obsidian requires lots of abrading if you're hitting with a big old bopper. Is that heat treat Flint River? No, Ed, it's a heat treat Buffalo River. Buffalo River? Yeah. It's this stuff that turns kind of reddish on the outside, but it's still peanut butter on the inside. Yep. It's heat treated Buffalo River from Danny Collins. For those of you who just tuned in, I've been napping on this. You'll have to rewatch the video to see the beginning. Started out as a big chunk. What was it, 7.5 inches? Now it's 6 1/4. You can't see. I'll need the stone stretcher to get it back to 7.5. Yeah. Stretch it out again to 7.5, just like they want. I want to see you maximize it. I want to see you maximize it. Always. It's no excuse. You can, you can lose 1/8 off the top and the bottom because you gotta grind it. That's it. Let's see. Danny, me too. I have broken half a dozen perfect blades trying to do a basalt thinning flake. End shock and tip flies off. Hopefully learn my lesson. Almost went, okay. Midbar says, almost went for more obsidian and firewood today. Weather warning of a cold March, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't looked at the weather lately, so I don't know. Now I know why arrowheads are so expensive. Yeah, now you know. But you already knew that. Matthias, I go now. Have a good day. See you later. I like your usual form. I see what you see and can usually see where you are heading before you get there. Yeah. I like both napping views, just like being at the Nappins. Oh, yeah. This is what you see at Nappins. Good afternoon, Patrick. Hey, Brennan. Zane Fierro. Hello. Let's see. Can't stay too long. Zane says he can't stay too long studying for Spanish test today. Oh, dang. Oh, make it 8-inch. Yeah. I'll have to get, do you have one of those super stretchers? I'll need one of those rock super stretchers, not the regular type. Super stretcher. Okay. Then I can get 8 inches out of it. Let's see. Hi, Patrick. Hey, Ken. Hot here in Tucson. Yeah, I heard from you last time. It was like 70 something there, 76 degrees or whatever. Zane Fierro, 8 inches too big. Yeah. But not for people who want to see the maximization. Yeah. They say, I'm not going to subscribe unless you maximize it. That's the only thing I like watching. You better get big blades. I get that all the time. They might not say it that way, but you can tell. Yep. You can tell that's what they want to see. And if I can do the impossible, that's even better. And if I can make up a story that I know what I'm doing, exactly what I'm doing, I make up stuff like the angular velocity is perpendicular to the surface, whatever, and deviates by 16.4 degrees. And it can only be done with a certain tool with certain humidity. and it leaves a certain signature. If I start talking that way, they love it. I'm not going to talk that way, so you might as well just click away. I'm not going to make up stuff that I think is happening when I don't know. Just go somewhere else. Like that little bouncing ball that used to go across the bottom of the screen on some music videos. Remember those when you're a little kid that would bounce on the lyrics? Click away and go away. Click away and go away. Anyone who wants me to talk that way or think that way, click away and go away. Okay, anyway. You can tell what generation I grew up in. Let's see. Okay, so we can, now that they've clicked away and went away, we can talk smack. Yeah, but I thought flake signatures were a thing. It sounded so scientifical. Yeah, well, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. No. And I've been studying up on fracture mechanics, so I'm going to come up with some good stuff for you in a little while. One thing these lithic analysts usually ignore is shear forces. When flint knapping, yeah, they get the tensile strength and they get the conchoidal fracture and they get the radial fracture stuff and various other fractures, but they're missing like half of what's going on. Don't take their word as gospel, because if you only have half of the information you need, it's like having half the ingredients of the soup, and one of the ingredients they're missing is the water. So if you superheat the rock, you can stretch it. Dang it, I need to try that. Big blades are overrated. Yeah, I think so. Small blades rule. Yes, they do. Besides, how many big blades can you make out of these? Tell me, how many big blades can you make out of these? Not very many, but I got tons of those. So what makes more sense? And I was thinking about that too, about why did humans go from atlatl darts to arrows? So I was thinking about that. Yeah. And I should make a video where I'm over dramatic. And do faces on the thumbnails, because I was looking at other videos today. No, not today, yesterday. I'm not going to go with the over dramatic type stuff. I just want to make fun of it. Anyway, I was thinking about various things. What was I just thinking about? I lost track already. I'm trying to read the comments. Oh yeah, why did the Indians, basically humanity changed from atlatl darts to arrows after a while? And I started thinking about it, and I'm realizing that if you are in conflict with other people because of increasing populations, you're going to need more ammunition. It's difficult to carry around a bunch of atlatl darts, so you carry around a bunch of arrows, right? And when Lewis and Clark were doing their exploration in North America, they were encountering Indians who were prepared to fight that had up to 60 arrows on them. 60 arrows. Can you imagine trying to carry 60 atlatl darts? Yeah. That's a lot of arrows to carry with you. But you can do it with arrows. With the atlatl darts, there's no way. So there's a simple explanation. It was increased conflict. They changed to arrows because of the increases in the number and intensity of conflicts. I agree with liking both views. The one you usually have is a great learning tool for me, and this one adds different perspective on hand position and angle. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Midbar, only 66 in Northwest Arizona today. It was warmer yesterday. Well, good. It's February. It should be 66. It's more reasonable. Arizona is a giant oven. Yeah, I believe it. I used to live in West Texas, not the city of West, just on the western side of Texas, right on the edge of the Chihuahuan Desert, and it's ungodly hot there. And in the city, it's even worse. It's like 5 degrees hotter than it is on the outside, on the outskirts. Yes, making 8-inch Cumberland points fully fluted on both sides. You know that you can grind the Cumberland flutes in and polish them up, and it looks like a flake. There you go, a pro tip. I should do some primitive life hacks. Why spend all that time fluting when you can grind it in? Yep. And then polish it up. It looks like a flake. There you go. Do I really recommend that? No, I don't recommend that. I am joking. Some people might say, I don't like when you joke because I don't know when you're serious or when you're not serious. I need to know exactly what is going on. I am lost. If you joke, we're lost. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. I can't cater to everybody. I'm just going to have to try to figure out when I'm kidding and when I'm not. And if you can't figure that out, what are you doing trying to nap? Or trying to figure out what napping is or how you do it? You got to have some powers of perception. Yeah. Yeah, but The Rock never kids around. The Rock is always serious. Serious and non-cooperative and logical. Yeah, I know. You forgot the human element. The most important part is the human element. Without the human element, we don't get arrowheads. Yeah. Or napping. Not good napping anyway. Nature will cause some fractures and it looks like napping. Right? But without humans, you don't have napped items. And humans are all goofy. Yeah. And humans get tired of doing the same old thing over and over again without any breaks or any fun. Yeah. I've been doing this 15 years. And if I didn't try to entertain myself, I would have said, that's it. No more flint napping. I'm done with it. If I want an arrowhead, I'll just make one and then move on to whatever I'm going to do what that year. I make 2 arrowheads a year because maybe I want a couple of arrowheads. That's it. Or, Dad, can you make me another arrowhead necklace? Okay. Might have 2 of those a year. Stuff like that. That's what I would have done if I hadn't entertained myself or found a way to start a little part-time business. Yeah. Sometimes I see an artifact and I go, ooh, I wish I had that artifact. I can make it. Or I can make one just like it. I can copy that. It's not going to look exact, but it's going to be close. That way I can go, ooh, it looks cool. And then sell it, because what's it going to do? It's going to end up in a box. All right, so I don't think I'm going to do any more billet work on this or bopper work. I'm already taking too much off the base here. It's now 6 1/8, so I lost some on that. 6 1/8 by 3 inches. So it's I missed the elusive 7 by 3. Yeah, I've had requests to do 7x3 bifaces as thin as possible, and those were a nightmare. Yeah, now, that's why I mentioned it in case you didn't know. Now, what's the ratio? What do I stop at? Let's just say it's 80 millimeters. No, let's do 75. That might be easier. 75 millimeters divided by 18. I don't know. Come on, I wish it was 15. It's not quite 15. Is it? No, it's like 18. So 75 divided by 18, what is that ratio? My brain is fried right now because I was arguing with Grok all morning. Yep. All right, so we got, what did I say? 75 divided by 18? 4 to 1. Yep. So you stop at 4 to 1 with the percussion. That's what I recommend. Or 3 to 1, right? Once it starts getting thinner than 5 to 1, you're risking it a lot. Some people want to start with 9 to 1. Like when they do slabs, a lot of those slabs are 9 to 1 or 8 to 1. 1/8 inch thick and an inch wide. That's 8 to 1 already. And when you're at 5 to 1, it's kind of dicey as far as snap and halfishness and difficulty in running flakes that are not convex, okay, or not curved. If you got a long, flat surface, flakes are not going to like running on that long, flat surface unless it's excellent material. People get all messed up because they start too thin. Or they want to go too thin with a bopper or whatever. Let's see. You can take deer with microliths. Yeah. You can also take deer with traps. You don't even need to shoot them. But you can't do it these days. It's illegal. Keep in mind that hunters back in the day, I probably don't need to say this, but hunters back in the day, they loved to trap and be sneaky and do all kinds of illegal stuff that's illegal today to get deer and other animals. Okay? So you can get deer with almost anything. Let's see. Oh, I missed some of the chat. Let's see. It wasn't advancing by itself. Oh, dang. Let's see. Back to work. Good day. All right, Danny. You probably 2:35. That was like 12 minutes ago. 14 minutes ago. If I wanted to cook a turkey, I'd leave it in my car in Arizona for an hour. Yeah, I believe it. Don't forget to smash the like button. Alan Cole says, don't forget to smash the like button. I thought tourists in Las Vegas were weird, always asking where to find raw eggs. Can cook them on the rocks in Red Rock Canyon. Dang it. You need at least 220 degrees to cook an egg. That's very hot. Let's see. You can make it dime-sized at ladle darts. You mean at ladle dart tips? Dart heads, yeah. Which came first, arrows or taxes? Taxes, easy. They used to call it tribute. If you don't pay the tax, you get speared. Yeah. Australian Aboriginal people text each other. Yeah, they call it tribute. They used to call it tribute. I recently gotten into fire forming spears. Anyone else have trouble with our U.S. mail system losing things? Oh, Ed. Ed asks it. I had to correct the addresses at the post office today. I sent you 2 packages, Ed, and one of them had the wrong address because there's 2 different addresses that are very similar where you're at. I'm not gonna say the address right now, but what I'm saying is I had to make a correction because it would have gone to the wrong house. Because your address is very similar to another address. In fact, the difference is almost negligible, and the computer will flip from one to the other. The post office computer. So that's one of the reasons why I think one of our packages got mixed up. And when it gets returned to sender, sometimes, like if you send me an envelope, Ed, and it doesn't get to me, it'll get returned to sender to the other place, to the other house that has a very similar address to yours. That's what I'm thinking is happening. And they confirmed that at the post office that, yeah, there's two addresses that are almost identical. Yeah. And they're not smart enough to look at the name. They just go by the barcode and the address. That's it. Let's see. They spent a lot of money on the Grand Canyon sidewalk here, or skywalk here. If you go on it now and see the missing bolts, your eyes will grow 2 inches. Let's see. Not to mention that the bow and arrow is more accurate. The bow and arrows were the AR-15 of the day. Yeah, well, see, they're more accurate now. We got to be careful about this accuracy thing, because if you look at actual artifacts, the arrows are not built to match, and they don't even match the bow sometimes, as far as the spine of the arrow matching the bow and what it requires for the paradox and that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? If you look, most arrows back in the day were not perfectly matched. So the accuracy was not something they were after. Or not, let's say they were after accuracy. Okay. They were not after identical items. Neither, not in the arrowheads, not in the shafts, not in the fletching, not in the weights of the arrows, not in the spines of the arrows. Okay. Nowadays, we're very anal about all that. Exactly the same weight for arrowheads, exactly the same weight for shafts, exactly the same spine for shafts, exactly the same knocks in the way that they release. Back in the day, sometimes when you release an arrow, it's different from the next one because the knock is different. It crimps the string differently. The string reacts with the knock differently because of different sizes. They were not all perfectly matched back in the day. So the accuracy thing is not on the table. Just so you know. I'm not trying to argue with you. I just want to tell you the facts. Okay? I make arrowheads for hunting. Yay, Zane. True bows are harder to make than a spear, though. Well, it depends on what kind of spear you're talking about. Some bows are super easy. And some spears are very difficult. Yeah. I make arrowheads for hunting. Let's see. The easiest spears to make are the Shoningen spears. You mean those really old ones made of spruce or something like that? In my opinion, those are not spears. No. Fire forming copies of Shoningen spears isn't super easy, but I can make one a day. I see. If the Shoningen spears are what I'm thinking about, there's several, like 5 or 6 found together, and they got pointed points on both ends, and they're made of spruce and stuff like that. They're made of a softwood. In my opinion, they're not spears. They're not spears at all. That's why I got into knapping, was for traditional archery, deer hunting like the ancient ones. Oh, yes. Spears always get me to wondering why you would throw your weapon away without lots of backups. Yeah. Grind the flute in and polish. Yay. Midbar. That'll darts take some planning too. The separate head shaft is a new passion. I see. Zane, I like making spears. They are fun and simple. Yes. Mike Mason, speaking of bows, my TB something looks better after touch-up. Oh, my Tight Bond 3 looks better after touch-up. Okay. Do you need safety glasses as a beginner? Yeah, I recommend it. You get used to wearing them. But if you can buy glasses that are just clear and small like this, it's better than a big old goggly type. I can't use the goggly type because it messes with my depth perception. Somehow the lenses on the safety goggles mess with my depth perception. They're okay if I'm cutting lumber and nailing and stuff, but if I'm doing something as subtle as flit napping, any slight deviation in your depth perception throws off your napping. So I don't recommend the big old goggles for beginners. Get something like this that has very little magnification or zero magnification. I think they sell stuff like this that has no magnification. Let's see. My dad found a couple of big 6 to 8 inch preforms clearing land in the 70s. Okay. At the time, I was sure they were spear points. Looking back, they were 50 miles from a quarry site, so a preforming makes a lot more sense than big roughing spears. Not quite sure what that means. Zane, I use them as spears. They fly great. Safety glasses are essential. Yeah. I have gotten obsidian in my eye. It sucks. Oh, yes, it does. I need new safety glasses. Foggy, but the fear of an obsidian flake in the eye. Just do it. My eyeballs are tough as woodpecker lips. Yeah, you wish. Yeah. I know you're being sarcastic. I hope you are. I don't know. I'm just hoping. Okay. So it's starting to get darker outside. Yeah. I got the door open again because it gets too hot in here. Even when it's like, I think it's 33 degrees outside. This house heats up pretty fast with the sun. All right, so the next stage here is the indirect percussion stage. And I'm already not liking this too much. Why? Because if I don't keep it thick, it's going to snap on me. Yeah. I'm not that used to the Buffalo River until I've got a bunch of it under my belt. You know, if I've been napping it for a month, I won't get stuff like that. That's a really big crush on a really solid platform. Why does it do that? I don't know. How do I avoid it? If I knew how to avoid it, I wouldn't have gotten it. Yeah. I could say something smart like, I could have avoided it by excessive grinding at a certain angle and maybe pinch the edge a little bit and then, position it properly and then maybe grind the tip, and go into all its explanation and stuff. But I don't need to do half that stuff to get a good flake. What I did was I just must have struck it too hard. Yeah, because that's what causes crushing. You strike it too hard for the edge and they'll crush it. It's something simple like that. I need to get flakes like that one. And I can only get flakes like that when I get used to the material and when I know its limits. Okay? I'm hitting at the same angle, the same basic forces. Everything's the same, with just slight tweaks will allow you to do that. Just slight tweaks. And the ending of the flake is the hardest to predict. So I didn't know I was going to do that. It's got like a step fracture on the end. See that? It started up here. Yeah. And you can see that abrupt stop, like a step fracture. It's not bad because it didn't scoop it. But, there's something to deal with because, you want a nice smooth surface. For the guys that say, I don't want any step fractures because what I'm trying to learn is to not do step fractures, okay? So if I see step fractures in the video, I'm not learning nothing. I've been there, okay? I've been there. Don't worry. And yeah, you can be annoying, but it's understandable. Let's see. Is that one? I like that one. Yeah. Sometimes I like a flake. If you saw what it looked like before I took that flake off, it was all flakery and crushily. Yeah, I know. Very immature way of talking. But it was all flakery right there, and that just smoothed it right out. Smoothed it. I'm going to start hitting harder. The wider it is, the harder I have to hit in most cases. And that means the edge can't be delicate. It has to be nice and robust, nice and strong. If it was a perfect world, I'd sit here and I'd spend lots of time looking at the edge and let's see, does that feel right? No, let's do this. Does that feel right? No, let's do this. Let's think, can I do something besides that one and maybe do another one before I do that one? Let's see what's it going to do at the end of the flake? I don't think about all that stuff because it is a waste of time. Yeah. Just try it, and if it doesn't work, move over a little bit and try again. Yeah, that time it worked. The first flake, just a little stupidness. Can you see? You can't see anything. The first flake. I think this is important, so I'm gonna suffer with it for a little bit here. The first flake was that one right there, that right there, and I went, not good. So I hit it right there, right? Well, I moved over a little bit to right there, and wiped out the area that I was originally going to try to wipe out. Now, so that platform was not isolated for that first flake. It was kind of a continuous platform right there. So if I made a mistake on the first try, I could do another try. How do I know to make longer, non-isolated platforms? I don't know. But I'm just giving you my style. You don't have to go and do this yourself. Let's see. Where am I here? Let's see. I found 2 arrowheads last weekend. Andrew, you're the guy that calls me Wes. Wes Studi. Or, I forgot the other guy now. You strike matches off your retinas? Yeah. I'm still talking about eyeballs. 255. Yeah, I'm like 7 minutes behind. TMU has great full phase masks with filters. Cheap. Oh, dang. TMU, I'm not on TMU. Timu? I am being sarcastic. Risk versus reward. Measure well, friends. Timu sells you lead and mercury rich products. Zane knows. Apparently, so do Girl Scouts. Let's see. Don't eat them. One lady bought a purse on Temu and found a nest of bugs in it. Dang it. Why am I not surprised? Here you can pick up any artifacts. You can't pick up any artifacts. Oh, where Ed lives, yeah. I've heard about those places. Let's see. Zane, why does the stone do that? I don't know. Same in California. Artifact hunting is illegal. Yeah, I've heard about the West Coast rules. So awesome. Can you do a Forrest Grump voice when someone like a troll asks a stupid question? Let's see. My mama said, no, I'll have to practice it. Okay, I can't get it. I've got to watch the movie. But I can do a Forrest Gump sometimes. Let's see. Everyone will make some mistakes, but You have to learn how to fix them and move on. Yeah. Northwest Arizona tribes don't even want you looking. Keep them clodhoppers away. Yeah. Let's see. Bushy is in the room. Yay. Same for artifact collecting in Michigan. Too many raided burial grounds and other special places, and now everything is taboo. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Robbie says hi. Midbar, I think Temu sells this stuff that even Walmart refuses. Yeah, I believe it. I keep getting, ads for Temu. Sign up for special discounts, and you can get, 86 items for 2 cents a piece. Whatever. Okay, some of these are not going anywhere. Some of these are doing good. This is slightly easier than the English flint. And whatever I was doing the last live stream, I think I was doing hornstone the last live stream. This is a little bit easier to nap than that stuff. Yeah. I can get, very nice, large, flat flakes. I just got to make sure I don't dig in too much and scoop it out too much. Yeah, as long as I go past halfway, I'm doing okay. And the way I nap, I try to limit the number of variables. So nothing's going on underneath here that you need to know about, except where I'm going to hit is where I apply most of the support. Not so that the flakes can travel, but so it won't break in half. If you support it where you're hitting, there's less chance of it breaking in half. That's why I do it. That's why I can go like this, hit it, and then go like that, and then the flake comes off right where I'm holding it. It's because I'm holding it where I'm hitting it. Not because I want to capture the flake, or not because I'm pulling, not because I'm supporting or pinching. It's because I'm supporting where I'm hitting, and that's vital. You need to make sure, same with pressure flaking. When you have a pad underneath, you want the pad to support right where you're flaking. Now, this goes against the slotted pad idea. Personally, I don't use slotted pads unless it's a specialty type of item that requires a certain type of napping that I find easier with a slotted pad. But I use slotted pads only with thick points. When it's thin, I need a pad that's rounded or domed. I was trying to see if I could use this as an example of a domed pad. I'm going to put the dome right where I'm pressure flaking. Okay? That way I don't snap the point. Same with percussion. I put my fingers underneath right where I'm striking. Okay? For the reasons that I mentioned that don't have anything to do with supporting the flake because of the travel, it's supporting the workpiece itself so the whole thing doesn't break. Okay? Some might say, well, it has an added benefit of aiding the flake travel if you cut your finger there. So that's probably what's going on. No, that's not probably what's going on. I think the flake travel, especially with the amount of force I'm using, will go there no matter what. My fingers are a little bit insignificant compared to the forces I'm using with the indirect percussion or with the regular direct percussion. Let's see. Robbie says Temu, all 198. All of it's 198. Let's see. Today they banned the sale of ammunition in Colorado. I believe Wyoming is now in business. Oh, dang. I don't want to hear that. Let's see. Brutus, hello. It's like Hawaii out there. Yeah. Robbie, I napped down along the Hudson River. It got up to 53 degrees, but it was a bit windy. That's not too bad. Only took a year to understand the support and still learning on it. Yeah. Jim Cooper, hey brother, how goes the chipping today? It's going okay. Test time. Wish me luck with the Spanish test. All right, Zane, we'll see you. Good luck with the Spanish test. Yeah. Don't feel too bad. It could be Chinese. Yeah, just be thankful you didn't take Chinese. So right now I'm in the stage where you can't see what I'm doing, except for maybe the angles. Hope you're having fun. Not being able to see what I'm doing. It doesn't show you the edge quality. It doesn't show you how far up on the edge I'm placing it. It just kind of shows you that the angles that I'm using are never consistent. But no matter what angle it is that I'm using, it's always 52.6. Remember that. Yep. Oh, I like it. I like it when a plan comes together. Yeah. Voila. Someone asked me, why do you throw the flakes on the ground like that? Because I know it's not going to break. See, it didn't break at all. I'm close to the ground. I can reach on the floor. I said ground. I can reach down on the floor and pick something up. It's only like 12 inches away. It's not a big deal. But I can understand where you're coming from because some people are dying for flakes. Just go to a Knapping, and I gotta put the Knapping lists in all my recent videos. Still, you didn't do that today. Whenever I sit down to do stuff on the computer or the phone, it's like I can never do what I originally set out to do. Originally, I sat down today to update my videos and put Knapping lists in the comment section. My list in the comment section. And I ended up arguing with Grok for 2 hours. I argue with Grok to see where I can find maybe some mistakes or something in its reasoning. It's becoming really, really human as far as the responses, and it makes assumptions that it shouldn't make because it gets those kind of responses from people. But most people are foolish. Yeah. So I don't know. It's learning from people, but I don't know if that's a good source to learn from. Let's see. Hey, Jim. Okay, Ferdo Joe. Okay, I see. Hey, Jim, I've been going through stuff, and I doubt you'd be very interested in what I came up with. I used most of the good stuff years ago. We'll see, I guess. Oh, I see. Brutus, you got some good materials there? Let's see. Mike Mason. Ed Gould. Timu was great. You have to look at things closely, of course, but the prices can't be beat. Most are things they make for name brand companies that moved to China. Ken Winton, or it could be Japanese. Yeah, Japanese is hard too. No putting your finger on that part of the flake. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, no, putting your finger on that part of the flake will likely cause a step. It's better, in my experience, that the flake has a clear path just about anywhere with 2 exceptions. Yeah. Adirondacks here. Don't stop there if you don't like. See, I've had my finger on that the whole time. And do you see a lot of step fractures right where I'm holding it, right where the flake's coming off? Do you see a lot of step fracturing going on? You have to use your eyes. I'm not saying you're wrong, but the way I do it, that's where I'm telling you how I'm doing it. Are you seeing a lot of step fractures? No. Let's see. Exceptions are one at the beginning of the flake when the edge needs more support and when you're trying to nap into a larger mass to undercut a step, for instance, or to hold a broken flake in place. Yeah, but why did you get the step in the first place? If you're really being really good at supporting. Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. I know. Just shoveled the roof for the 3rd time today. Bushy, you got snow again? Let's see. Rehit a platform. Yeah. That works sometimes. I'm close to the Mohawk River too. Brutus, I've got tons of flakes and small pieces. Come on up and I can hook you up. Jim Cooper's got flakes and stuff. Yes, yes, yes. I got my fingers there and I didn't get a step fracture. Now, I do get step fractures. Don't get me wrong. Right? I do get step fractures, but it's usually because I don't want to hit as hard as I need to hit because I'm afraid of breaking it. That's the main issue with me is now not hitting hard enough because I don't want to break it. And the lack of force causes the flake to terminate too soon, which ends up in a step fracture in most cases. That and a weak platform. I'm guilty of not strengthening the edge enough. I'm very guilty of that. Okay. And I'm going to support the tip here on my leg for hitting right on the base so I can get that little bit. Yeah. If I'm going to hit the base at this stage, it's going to be just for little flakes, nothing major. But yeah, in arguing with Grok today, I found out it's getting better. It is getting better. They just rolled out Grok 3, the beta version, but it's getting better because now it remembers conversations that I had with it a few weeks ago. I asked, do you remember the conversation, blah, blah, blah? And it says, yes, I remember, da, da, da. So that's new. Usually, before, it couldn't remember conversations. Now, why it can remember now? When it told me before it couldn't remember conversations, and then I asked again from that same time period, and now it can remember that conversation, it must have kept track somehow. It just wasn't able to access it again or something. Until recently. Maybe because of server capacity. Anyway, I had a firm pressure because I hit really hard right in the middle of that flake, not near the edge and not pulling on it, and it did not step fracture. It actually feathered out nicely. The termination is you're always going to get some weirdness, especially when you do a real long one. But where I had my finger didn't stop it. Now, sometimes the fingers can stop a flake, yes, and cause step fracturing, but that's usually with very delicate material, and not stuff like this. have my fingers right there. See, I'm not supporting it anywhere else except right there. Okay. All right. Now that one I napped into a very steppy area and I ended up with another step. It didn't want to go through that steppy area. Yeah. Oh well. We'll just have to make it more narrow and blast through that. It's starting to get thin, so it's going to resist. It's going to resist blasting through certain obstacles because the force is not as great. When it starts to get thin, I can't use the same amount of force. Because it'll break it. I always try for the maximum width because it gives me options. If I lose width too fast, sometimes I regret it, taking too much width off, because I say to myself, if I just had left it a little wider, I could have been able to beef up that edge a little bit better. So I leave it as wide as I can so I can beef up the edge just in case. How do you beef up the edge? You just reduce it back a little bit and it thickens up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky area in there where it's all crackly. Nacho-matic. Think I could use Nacho to blast through there? Nacho has to be downward like this, napping upward. It can't be napping straight because then the flake will dive in. It's got to be pushing at least a little bit upward so that the flake, when it goes downward slightly, it doesn't dig in too much. So if I do this on that step fracture, see how the flake, it's angled down in? See how the flaker is angled down in? It's not a good angle. It has to be like this before you use it. Like it has to be at that level. And then you can knock something across. Otherwise, like I said, you'll get diving and you'll have misery. So I'm going to take back the edge and see what I got to work with. And I brush it with the abrader to take back the edge. It gets thicker. And then I grind it and see what I got. So when you do it that way, when you brush off the weak areas, it'll expose the strong areas, and the strong areas are where you want to hit. You can construct areas to hit, but then you lose more width that way. Now, maybe some of you guys don't lose any width when you're constructing these platforms. That's good. You're better than I am in that case. So I did a series of 3 flakes. 1, 2, 3, to try to get rid of some of that nastiness. There, you can see it better now. And it didn't work all that well, and I scooped it out a little bit. So it didn't work. It's starting to get a little too thin to do this kind of work. But we're going to try it anyway. The width to thickness ratio is not conducive to what I want to do, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah, this edge is kind of crackly right here. Hold on. Let's see, we got about 30 minutes left. Let's see. Patrick, you got a chunk of goldstone coming. All right, thanks, Bushy. Is goldstone man-made? Yes, it is. Yes, I don't like it. Bushy says he doesn't like it. Again, I'm speaking only in terms of percussion. I don't know the difference when using indirect. Indirect is percussion. Also, I notice a difference in what you're doing and what in referring to you're supporting the whole length. I love to come up, but I don't get out much, and my car is POS. Oh, I know what you're talking about there, Brutus. Let's see. Bushy bought the goldstone from Craig Ratsit. I see. I think it's glass with copper grindings. Yeah, it could be. It has copper sparkles all through it. Yeah. I need to go play outside. Okay, midbar. No inside napping allowed here. Wife's feet find the missing flakes. Oh yes. Women and children have flake magnets on their feet. BBL. Of the flakes, I only meant adding finger pressure to the end of a flake's trajectory, like I would with an edge pinch. Also, there's a number of reasons for a step, improper grinding, internal flaw, bad angle. Yes. I agree. Jim Cooper of Bad Angle Strike, yes. Is Nacho worth it? I've been thinking about getting one to notch the tougher materials. Yeah, it's worth it because sometimes it can get into those areas where you need to be sneaky to get a flake, especially when you stall a notch and you're grinding it with a file to get it started again. The Nacho-Matic is one of those tools that will pop that flake out after you grind it. Yeah. But one of the other handy things is that sometimes it can blow away the step fracturing if you start to get it stacked, one step fracture close to the other, and it seems like an impossible task to wipe that stuff out. You can attack it with Nacho and wear it down. Like you take the first stack off the top, the first step off the stack, then the next step off the stack, and then the next one. It comes in handy for that kind of thing. The thing about Buffalo River, in case you don't know, is it does have inconsistencies, so it doesn't nap the same in all areas. Even when it's heat treated and the heat treat kind of levels everything out, you'll still get differences in the material. So you're going to have to be aware of that, or you're going to be miserable. Okay, so let's see. That was like this. You saw the angle, right? My fingers were like this. So this is where most of my pressure was, right here where that flake was removed. And I wasn't pulling on it or anything. And it managed to get even behind that steppy area, which is luck. I'm not going to say it was skill because I didn't realize it would get that much off. I was hoping that it would do it, and it did it. But that's luck. Yes, it is, because it did it really, really well. Now, is that going to put a curve in it? It slightly scooped it, but I think I can uncurvify it. Yeah, I wore a black shirt so I can do this, and you can see the biface, and I haven't used the black shirt to my advantage. I keep going over here and over here. But yeah, it's getting thin. So this is the sweat stage. All right, let's see what the ratio is. 62 divided by 10, 6-1. It's 6-1 right now. Yeah, and I can already feel it. It's at the sweat stage where, oh my goodness, it can break at any time. See, because it's thinner here than it is there. So no, but I wanted to get that. It was annoying me. The crushy area in the middle was annoying me. So now it's no longer annoying me. Now this is annoying me right here, this little lump. This lump. Let's see. Let's see. So I think nacho is worth it, to answer that question, Jim. If for nothing else, just to get those sneaky flakes that you might need sometimes. For no more than one cost, I think they are, but you have to be careful. They are a powerful tool. Jim, if you don't want to spend money on it, I can just send you one for free. All right? But everybody else, don't get any ideas. I don't have very many of these. Let's see. For no more than one cost. Okay. Ed Gould, does it help to put an angle on the notcher so the angle forces the step upwards instead of directly? Yes, you can put an angle on the notcher. Yeah, it does help. I just don't do it. I have done it once. So just to try it. Yeah, I ground this down. So instead of being flat this way, I ground it so it's a little bit angled. And it popped up, it grabbed underneath the step fracture. Yeah. Because nothing else was working, so I sharpened it with a little bevel, and then it did get it. But it ruined the tip, so I had to flatten it out again. I mean, it just requires more maintenance, that's all. Let's see. I don't use the Nachomatic much, but when I do, it is quite potent. It is helpful and hindered several times. It's helped and hindered several times. Okay. Let's see. Tim Cooper, one challenge I face here is I'm not working with the visual aid, so I can't show you exactly what I'm talking about. I can only try to convey my meaning with words, which is a challenge for me anyway. Oh, I understand. No worries. Brutus, I get it, me either. Why is the obtuse triangle always frustrated? Do whatever. It's never right. I absolutely hate goldstone. Oh, come on. You can hate it, but to absolutely hate it? Man, is it like kryptonite for you? One trick I've learned that you may try is to abrade the inside of a notch with a thin flake of the same material. I've had great success doing this on narrow entry notching with obsidians. Yeah, let's see. I'll try that. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've tried that. I don't know if I've actually ground it with another flake of the same material. I've ground it with a flake of different material, but not the same, I don't think. Usually when I use the same material, I'm trying to remove those little fingernail fractures. Let's see. I've napped quite a bit of goldstone, and I like it. Bill Taylor likes it. Hey, Mikey. No, he's not a Mikey. He's a Bill. Hey, Bill. He likes it. Okay, but you're supporting exactly where I'm talking about to remove that mass, what I'm talking about in this instance would be having your fingertips be placed behind that mass would increase the chance of stepping at the flake termination. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. But you'd have to have quite a bit of force. But yeah, I agree. If you're really pinching it hard near the termination of the flake, you can't stop it. Yeah, I mean you can try that on by yourself just as an experiment. Push real hard where you think the flake's going to end, and pretty much it'll end right there. Now it doesn't always work. Sometimes it stops way before that. But you can try it yourself, and sometimes yeah, it's pretty predictable if you squeeze hard enough. Okay, so I need to finish out the thinning, and then we'll just do some chatting, I guess. If I finish out before there's too much, if I finish before there's still time on the clock, then we'll chat. Otherwise, I might be here the whole time just trying to thin it. Hold on while I zone out on the tip here, because that's the hardest part for me. But heat treat is so nice. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's so worth paying a little bit extra for heat treat. Once you get used to it. It's hard to get used to. But once you get used to it, man, it's sweet. So if you're new, you'll go, wait, it's hard to get used to? Yeah, it's hard to get used to the heat treat. But I thought you said it was a game changer. Now I am lost again. It is a game changer. But like everything in flint knapping, you've got to get used to it. Okay, you got to get used to it. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I hear that. I see that on the internet a lot. Sorry, not sorry. That one worries me. Yeah. It worries me because I was knapping it again into a crunchy area, and it made it more crunchy. Let's see. I might be able to pick that out. We got it picked out. Yeah. It's just a little step on the end now. Little bitty step fracture on the end. But I can get that. Yeah. It's in a thick spot. Yeah. Yep. It's in a thick spot. And my flaker, my percussion flaker is starting to get all worn out. Hold on. That last strike put a big dent in here. Man, this got all beat up. Maybe that's why some of these flakes are not traveling. The flaker's all beat up. Some of the flakes that I'm shooting are not traveling as far as I'd like. Most of them are, but some of them. And I'm going, what's the matter? What's the matter? It could be because the flaker's all messed up. Or it was. Too many dents and divots. What do we got? What do we got? I saw the chat go. Let's see. No, nothing happened. What did I see? One trick I learned that you may try is to abrade the inside of a notch. Okay, I got you. I've not quite a bit of goldstone. Like, all right, there it goes. Yeah. The chat is doing weird stuff. I'm gonna stop complaining about the chat. You already know that it's misery-inducing POS. Okay, here we go. I think I've done some goldstone. It's not too bad. Ed says. Jim Cooper. Anyway, I got to go. I have an appointment to get to. I'll see you all Friday. Okay, Jim. We'll see you Friday. Thanks for being here. Happy trails. Yes. Shake it easy, Jimmy. Thanks, guys. Okay. Let's see. Where is this chat heading to now? I'm heading out to talk. Bill Taylor is leaving. Okay. See you later, Bill. All right. So let's see if I can finish this before the end of the live stream, or finish most of it. I don't want to mess with it too much more. Yikes. I'm just reducing that one step fracture a little bit. I'm slowly approaching it, but I'm saying yikes because it's getting a little bit thin. A little bit too thin. I already broke 2 drills because I thought I was not getting too thin. Which reminds me. Okay, I'm gonna show you that drill. I'm gonna drill some wood here in a minute. Let me just take a couple flakes off. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I could probably make a dovetail out of this, right? Yeah, I'll make a dovetail out of it and off camera. Yes, maybe, maybe not. Or harden. I made a bunch of hardens out of Buffalo River. Anyway, I got the crunchiness off of both sides sufficiently enough to satisfy my eyes. You know what I mean? I think that's good enough. It was kind of crunchy on both sides in the middle, but now it's not. All right, so it ended up being 2 3/8. So I lost some width, yeah, and then 6 inches even. And what I'm going to do now is there's still some lumpy areas, like right here. That's lumpy right there and right there. So I'm going to thin those 2 areas down, and then I'll wait to sharpen it until I put the stem in. I'll notch it I've got some new notchers now that I'll be able to do some curved up notches, maybe for a harden. I can do those easier. And I have a notchomatic that I sharpen to a point so I can get in there and do those little punch notches, vertical punch notches. All right, so let's do the drill thing. Before I forget, before the live stream is over, first thing, it's important to have a pith. You got to have a little bit of a pith. See that? It's got a little bit of a hole in there. And I'm going to cut it straight off. And I've got to do it left-handed. You can get these at Harbor Freight for less than $10. Very thin saw. Excellent for arrows. It is important to have a straight cut. Can you do this with stone? Not that easily, of course, but you can do it with stone. You just go, what I'm doing is I'm turning the wood, turning it as I'm cutting. I turned it, you can't see, but when it gets down to the pith, you can just snap that off. And then you grind it on a piece of stone. Take a stone and go grind it smooth. All right, so now you've got, this pith is off center, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little piece here just to show you how to start it. Well, just to start it. This is not how to start. This is how to actually drill the whole thing. I'm going to use this little piece to start. Just insert it into the pith. Make sure you actually know where the pith is. A lot of times this will break off a delicate tip if the tip on your drill is too delicate. But it's okay. Just keep going. All right, once it's in there, I just so you move your hand that holds the drill at the same level as the stick, and you just roll it underneath. Eventually, it'll widen out. You can see where it's starting to collect on the drill, the wood. Make sure the wood is dry, because if it's not dry, that wood will gum up that drill really fast. Heard a little snap, but it didn't break the tip off. After a while, you get used to it, how you have to hold the drill. Okay, I'll show you how deep it's going so far. See that? It doesn't take all that long, especially if you got a larger piece. So this means you don't have to haft the drill. Like sometimes you can haft the drill and put it in something and then do this. You know, if you have it hafted to something or pounded into a piece of wood, you can do this. But if it's just using a flake or whatever, like I like to use, you can just hold it and do this. And on that side, I just have I have a dumbbell on that side. I'm putting it down between the two weights. Anyway, so it holds that end over there steady. And there's a towel there too. Prevents it from rattling around. Anyway, you see what I'm doing? How do I know how to do this without breaking the piece of stone? I've done it before, okay? So eventually it'll get there. And it's important that the wood is soft enough to do this. But yeah, if I had a bigger drill, I could hold it better. Because right now it's a little bit wobbly. You know what I mean? So I can't exert a lot of pressure, because if it's wobbly down here and I exert a lot of pressure, it'll snap the tip of the stone. It's got to be firm, and I push it with my leg a little bit. If I want to increase the force, and I push with my hand this way, okay? You can sit there and do this all day, but it's faster if you have something to roll it on. So yeah, it's getting there. Okay, all right. Let me look at the chat. I want to see napping. I don't like drills. Let's see. Ed Gould says, "Well done. These live streams are so informative. Great job." Well, thanks, Ross. Thomas H. Didn't know you were doing live streams. Awesome. Yeah, 3 times a week. Why am I doing them? Because I'm probably not going to be at a nap-in that you're going to be at this year. Let's see. Holy mess. My phone died 15 minutes into the live stream. I'm back. Hey, Ken. What did I miss? Yeah, you missed a sweat stage. Here it is now. It's 6-1, which is good enough to sharpen. And the sooner I quit on the sweat stage, the better. It was getting crunchy in the middle, but I managed to get lucky with a couple of strikes. Keith Ricketts, crap. I got to go back and rewatch the sweat stage. Yes. Rewatch it. 9 minutes to go, it looks like, according to the clock. 9 minutes to go. Anyway, I'm going to be doing more stone tool woodworking eventually. I prefer to do it off camera so I don't have to prepare much. I'll try to get more of it on camera. Oh yeah, what is the material? This is butterfly bush, believe it or not. And it's actually good for arrows. I was amazed. Now, it's got these big nodes in it, and it's got a large pith. So it's probably better to use for atlatl darts. This one is about 4 feet. I don't know. I could make an atlatl dart out of this one, but I'd have to straighten it more. I peeled some of the bark off because I wanted to see what the wood looks like. But if this butterfly bush works, heck, I'll plant a bunch of it. I'll show you how fast this goes. Okay, so I peel the bark off of that with a flake, and the 90-degree ones, or close to 90 degree, work really well. You don't need a special divot in it. The flat is actually better. Okay, so got about that much clear now. Just a simple flake broken off, or if it's one of these broken bifaces, that'll work too. This actually works really well. So a broken biface works really well. And that's almost 90 degrees, which is good. All right, so I just peeled off that. And you get lots of shavings. Anyway, I think it's getting close. Yeah. Let's see. Jesse, what makes you think or imagine to put the flake back on the biface behind the step? Hit it again and shoot the step out. That was genius. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Yeah. Who did I see that did that? I think I saw that at a Knapping. The first time I saw that was at a Knapping, putting the flake back on, making sure everything was clear. Because if you have dust on the surface, you want to get that out and put the flake back in and make sure it matches exactly with no gaps. And you know, when you hold it together, you shouldn't see any gap in there. And then you hit it. If you see a little gap, that means it's not fully seated. You need to dust it off, blow it out, and put the flake back in. Make sure it's seated so that when you hold it, you can't see any crack. You know what I mean? And that way you know it's fully seated, and then you can hit it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it messes up everything, you know, because it'll cause a flake to dive in and overshoot. But it does work many times. Oh, yeah. And when it works, it's so good. Yes, it is. I have a pointy end and a round end. So I'm going to use a pointy end to start adjusting the edge. See how that works? I got a little step fracture right there. See that? It shot up to there. Not enough force, but I might be able to pick it. Yes. But it still ended in a little step fracture. What is it doing? The shadows are not cooperating. But yeah, I picked it out, but it's still a little step fracture. Yeah, I'll get that in a little while. I'll go back to the larger flaker. Let's try one more hit. Yeah. I don't like it too much because it's in an area where the material is kind of crunchy. Let's see, did that work? There's a lot of flakes in there. I think. No, it didn't. It didn't reach the back of the step fracture, but it looks okay. I mean, it reduced the lump, but I still have a little bit of steps there. That doesn't. Let's see. You can kind of see. No. Stupid lighting. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. I can't do the light tricks. Yeah. I do need the light so I can see. All right, so the live stream's almost over. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits here. Let's see. We got any more good comments? Let's see. They're all good, man. What are you talking about? Okay, fine. Finally off work and at home. Hey, Mike. The best time of the workday. Yes. Greetings. Hi. In Doghouse. Hey, bit late again. Yeah, you're a bit late because there's only 1 minute left. Danny. You missed it. I did this. He treated Buffalo River. You're going to have to watch the video again. I also started with the little drilling, but no one commented on it, so they didn't like it. A little drill bit. Okay, I'm going to do this with obsidian in a later video. But I just wanted to demonstrate it right now. A new way to drill for me. Awesome. I just got 4 display cases from Temu and $14 each. Just like the ones on Amazon for $25. Oh, dang. What about shipping? Is there free shipping on Temu? Had to come back and tell y'all. Yeah, awesome. Tommy Taylor, hi. Keith Ricketts, Jesse Parra has a great question. Yeah, where to go? Jim Main, hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Thanks for the stream. You too. See you later, Jim. Let's see. Yeah, I think I read all the chats. That's it. Yeah, I'm going to end the live stream. The next live stream is Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 to 10 p.m. And that's just chat and question and answer. And maybe I read a book, or little excerpts out of a book. And then I'll be doing videos tonight and during the next 4 or 5 days. Try to upload a video each day. The only time I don't make a video is on Tuesdays. I tend to just sleep early, go to sleep early on Tuesday nights. Try to anyway. Danny, in Doghouse, gonna start making custom displays myself. Stay tuned. All right. Made first one already, getting tooled up now. Awesome. It sounds good. I need to order a case myself. All right. Okay. We'll see you next time on the next stream. Have a good night.